In the quest to make their mark, Jon Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora, Bon Jovi's band leaders, decide to embrace the mainstream with their new material. They spend countless hours in the basement at Sambora's mother's house, crafting over 24 songs for their upcoming album. To enhance their songwriting prowess, they bring in professional songwriter Desmond Child, who had co-written the hit song Heaven's on Fire for Kiss in 1984. The trio's collaboration yields immediate results, and they write the future hit You Give Love a Bad Name on the very first day. Seeking fresh perspectives, Bon Jovi hires producer Bruce Fairbairn, known for his success with Kiss, to oversee the album. They converge at Little Mountain Sound Studios in Vancouver and set to work bringing their songs to life. Those songs include the aforementioned You Give Love a Bad Name, as well as Living on a Prayer and Wanted Dead or Alive. During their time in Vancouver, the band encounter local strip clubs where water-assisted stage performances leave a lasting impression. The experience inspires the album's title, Slippery When Wet. Sambora remembers.
The first day we walked in, this woman descended from the ceiling on a pole and proceeded to take all her clothes off. When she got in a shower and soaped herself up, we just about lost our tongues. We just sat there and said, we will be here every day. That energized us. Our testosterone was at a very high level back then.
Before the album's release, Bon Jovi follows their tradition of testing the songs with a live audience at a local pizza joint. The positive feedback helps them refine their selection and ensure they have a hit on their hands. When Slippery When Wet finally arrives on August 18, 1986, it becomes the perfect album for its time. Blending pop sensibilities, polished rock aesthetics, and blue-collar roots, it resonates with both mainstream audiences and rock and roll audiences alike. Both Living on a Prayer and You Give Love a Bad Name soar to the top of the charts. And the album becomes the best-selling release of 1987. It hits number 1 in the USA, Australia, and Canada, and number 6 in the UK. It would go on to be certified 12 times platinum in the United States, diamond in Canada, 6 times platinum in Australia, and 3 times platinum in the UK. But that's not all. The aforementioned singles rocket to number 1 on the US chart, with a third, Wanted Dead or Alive, hitting number 7. And years later, Living on a Prayer would be ranked number 175 on the global Billboard 200 for the most downloaded and streamed song of 2021 to 2023, 3.5 decades after its release. To this day, the song can be heard at parties and clubs all over the world, and just one mention of Johnny and Tina triggers memories of the song's storyline. A storyline that the band would reprise years later in their hit 2000 song, It's My Life. Slippery When Wet catapults Bon Jovi to global superstar status. While it might have appeared as an overnight success, Bon Jovi's platinum triumph was the result of years of relentless touring and hard work, and never backing down from a paid gig, no matter how small. From dingy clubs to opening slots for acts like Kiss and ZZ Top, the band paid their dues and built a dedicated following, slowly but surely. And it just so happened that their photogenic appeal and the rise of MTV worked in their favor. With Jon Bon Jovi's charismatic presence and their energetic music videos, they capture the hearts of teenage girls all over the world. Unlike Mötley Crüe, whose career is now being plagued by drugs, accidents, and legal battles, Bon Jovi keep things relatively clean in comparison, or at least publicly, and pour most of their energy into their music. This relative stability is perhaps best exemplified by Jon Bon Jovi's 43-year-long romantic interest with his high school sweetheart and now wife of 34 years and counting, Dorothea. This sits in stark contrast to Nikki Sixx and Vince Neil, both of whom have been married 3 times, with Tommy Lee going one better, having been married 4 times. Over 1986 and 1987, Bon Jovi would scale commercial heights that Mötley Crüe could only dream about from their slumber of drug-fueled debauchery and internal strife. And if Bon Jovi's success served as motivation for Mötley Crüe to clean up their act, it wasn't obvious. On January 22 of 1986, Mötley Crüe embark on their first European headlining tour, with Cheap Trick as special guests for 9 UK dates. February 14 sees Mötley playing the first of 2 concerts at London's Hammersmith Odeon on Valentine's Day. The guys from Hanoi Rocks and Brian Connolly from The Sweet watch the performance. After the show, Six and Andy McCoy from Hanoi Rocks go on a quest to score heroin. They find a dealer and Nicky gets injected inside a house, passing out shortly thereafter. Andy tries to wake him up with ice, and the dealer resorts to hitting him with a baseball bat. Eventually, Nicky is carried outside and thrown into a trash dumpster, where he regains consciousness by vomiting. In February, Rick Nielsen of Cheap Trick introduces Tommy Lee and Nicky to Roger Taylor of Queen. They all go to a Russian restaurant in London, indulging in infused vodka. Nicky snorts 7 large lines of cocaine served on silver platters. Returning to Los Angeles, Nicky reunites with his girlfriend Nicole, who's chosen a house for him during his absence on tour. They visit the property located at 14432 Valley Vista Boulevard in Sherman Oaks. Once inside, Nicky becomes captivated by the allure of this new dwelling. However, what initially appears to be a haven soon transforms into a den of self-destruction. Within the walls of this house, Nicky succumbs to the temptations that surround him. He indulges in a dangerous habit, injecting himself with drugs worth a staggering $1,000 each day, causing his veins to deteriorate and dry up. Notably, his circle of acquaintances expands to include Izzy Stradlin from Guns N' Roses, as well as Britt Eklund and various individuals from the adult film industry. Yet, as the days pass, paranoia takes hold of Nicky, plunging him into seclusion. Haunted by delusions, Nicky becomes consumed by a constant state of alertness. He patrols his residence, vigilant for any sign of intrusion, gripping his .357 Magnum tightly in his hands. His paranoia reaches a point where he even confronts employees of his home security provider with his loaded gun. The house itself reflects his inner turmoil, with its single-level structure built in 1940. The interior is adorned with Gothic furniture, red velvet hangings, and eerie antiques, while gargoyles ominously stare out from the darkness, a haunting presence within the shadows. Within these walls, Nicky battles his demons and grapples with the consequences of his choices. The house serves as a physical manifestation of his descent into darkness, a backdrop to his turbulent existence. As he navigates the treacherous path before him, the future remains uncertain, and the shadows within the house mirror the turmoil within his soul. Tommy, meanwhile, embarks on his second marriage, exchanging vows with TV star Heather Locklear amidst the picturesque courtyard of the Santa Barbara Biltmore Hotel. The surroundings are adorned with vibrant gardenias and tulips, setting the stage for a lavish celebration. Heather, known for her role as Sammy Jo in Dynasty, dons a figure-hugging strapless mermaid-style dress in radiant white. Tommy, on the other hand, dons a bespoke white leather tuxedo crafted by Mötley's renowned stage clothing designer, Ray Brown. Nicky takes on the role of Tommy's best man, but his commitment falters as his struggles with heroin leave him incapacitated, much to the dismay of Tommy. In the confines of the bathroom, hidden syringes concealed in Nicky's cowboy boots serve as a temporary reprieve. The ceremony is punctuated by skydivers descending from the sky, bearing magnums of crystal champagne. Prominent figures from the music world grace the guest list, including members of Rat, Autograph, Quiet Riot, and Night Ranger, while Nicky Rackman, co-founder of the Cat House, assumes the role of DJ. Pre-wedding festivities entail a lingerie and sex toy shower for Heather, and a raucous bachelor party featuring 15 bikini-clad mud wrestlers in honor of Tommy. Following their nuptials, the newlyweds embark on a 3-week honeymoon on Grand Cayman Island. However, the idyllic escape is marred by a disturbing late-night altercation, causing the local authorities to intervene. Tempers flare as Tommy unleashes a torrent of obscenities, shattering glasses and overturning furniture, their heated argument echoing through the corridors. Concerned residents outside their third-floor room implore them to quiet down, only to be met with Tommy's confrontational behavior, threatening to kill Heather. The arrival of a police car prompts inquiries regarding pressing charges, yet Heather declines. As the altercation persists, 2 additional police cars arrive, with a contingent of 5 officers. The tumultuous incident ultimately leads to the couple's expulsion from the luxury establishment, the disruptive presence deemed intolerable. Meanwhile, Nicky spends the wedding weekend at the Biltmore Hotel in Santa Barbara, alongside his girlfriend Nicole, fueled by a determination to break free from the grip of drugs. Yet, their noble aspirations prove futile. In search of an alternative method to overcome their addiction without resorting to rehab, Nicky devises a plan for him and Nicole to undergo a 5-day detoxification at Doc McGee's residence. The ensuing days become an arduous battle, with Nicky's debilitating symptoms forcing his manager to carry him from the house to the hot tub, desperately attempting to alleviate his excruciating cramps. In a poignant turn of events, Nicky receives a letter from Mötley Crüe's accountant, illuminating the alarming truth of his excessive drug expenditures, amounting to a staggering $3,500 per day. The gravity of the situation becomes apparent as the stark realization emerges. In just 16 months, he faces the perilous prospect of financial ruin or even death. Faced with mounting concerns, Nicky's band management and rehab specialist, Bob Timmons, intervenes, orchestrating a joint admission for Nicky and Nicole at a detox hospital of Van Nuys Boulevard, mirroring Vince's past journey. However, after 3 days of attempting to reshape Nicky's mindset through religious means, Nicky escapes. Timmons, committed to helping Nicky overcome his addiction, opts to explore alternative methods. Nevertheless, as Nicole returns home following an additional 2 weeks in rehab, they discover that their newfound pursuit of sobriety has created irreconcilable differences, leading to their eventual breakup. Amidst the tumultuous period of detoxification, Nicky finds solace in the composition of an ode dedicated to his ailing grandmother, Nona. Initially intended for the Out of Bounds film soundtrack, the composition remains incomplete as Nicky's journey towards heroin detox takes precedence. Meanwhile, Vince begins to serve his 30-day prison sentence. The moment he arrives at Gardenia State Jail, he is granted the position of a trustee, affording him certain privileges within the facility. His duties entail delivering meals to fellow inmates, maintaining cleanliness in the cells, and even washing police cars, an opportunity to chip away at his sentence through earned credits. Sharing a cell with 2 individuals, one incarcerated for the theft of high-end sports cars like Ferraris and Porsches, Vince finds himself in unique company. Having spent months on the road grappling with the pursuit of sobriety, Vince's commendable behavior does not go unnoticed by the prison guards. In recognition of his positive conduct, they extend certain privileges to him, such as indulging in burgers and 6-packs of beer. His fame transcends the confines of jail walls, as he graciously signs autographs and poses for photographs with guards. The unusual circumstances even grant him an extraordinary opportunity. One day, a female fan visitor enters his cell. However, as the days unfold, Vince's visits from his wife Beth become less frequent. While she diligently attends to him every day during the initial week, their connection slowly wanes as the weeks progress, ultimately straining their relationship in the face of his incarceration. As the months pass and 86 turns into 87, a year that Bon Jovi marked their ascent to the top of the rock world, Mötley Crüe continued to navigate internal strife and their own personal demons to work on what becomes their fourth album. But despite needing to bounce back from the lackluster Theatre of Pain, and despite management's efforts to get Nikki Sixx clean, Sixx would find himself hitting absolute rock bottom and having a close encounter with death.